Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of The Shy. This is season 4, episode 9, and it was titled Southside with You. Alright, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button along with the share button. All right, y'all, let's just jump into it. Okay, so this is another little cute episode. They did not tell us what's going on with Nina and Dre. They gonna say that for the season finale. I'm like, whatever. That's the only reason why I'm here at this point. But no, everything else is entertaining too. But anyway, y'all, let's jump into this episode. So we see Papa and Kevin. They singing their little hearts out, child. They at Kevin house singing something jagged edge. They singing like, oh, I lost my baby, something like that. I don't even remember the song, but they singing. The music loud, and Keisha is like, I think right below them, or maybe the room next to them or whatever. So the baby sleeps. She on the phone texting Christian and stuff like that, and he telling her, I was just thinking about you, boo. And she like, whatever, you lying. And he was like, we not all liars and stuff. So she just cheesing because she feeling all the love and stuff and the butterflies and whatnot. And then the baby wake up, start crying. So she go tramping over to Kevin room, and she like, turn that damn music down. So Kevin and them look at her like, whatever. She slammed the door. As soon as she walked out, child, Kevin just put on the music louder. He just turned his Bluetooth up. I was cracking up. And next we see Emmett. So he was one of his baby mama, Shay. So, he got about 3, 4, 5 of them. But he was Shay. And he basically spilling his heart out to her about what's going on with Tiff. They had like a cute little moment and stuff like that. And he's telling her, like she doing this and stuff like that. And she told me that she was happy with the arrangement that we got going on. And she was like, well, maybe she tired of your shit, because you always doing some shit. He was like, well, I'm trying to be a better man and stuff. And she was like, well, maybe it's too little too late. And so he was like, well, you think she gonna leave me? She was like, boy, I don't know. I got my own issues and stuff. I'm not trying to focus on you. She getting ready to go out on a date. He like, well, do he treat you right and stuff? And she was like, yeah, he treat me right. He was like, that's your man. She was like, well, he might be my man after tonight or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. She was like, well, for real, he good peoples and stuff. He treat my son right and stuff. He was like, our son. She was like, yeah, whatever, Emmett, whatever. But anyway, here, get this scarf to your mama. Tell her that I'm praying for her, whatever. He was like, all right, bet. So then they had like a little moment, like I said, and they left out. Trig and Duda, child. So Trig is in Duda's office and stuff, and they just chatting. So Trig asked Duda, how you feeling and stuff like that. Duda like, oh, I'm on the mend. I've been going through a lot since that accident or whatever, since I got shot. Like, my life flashed before my eyes. And he was like, well, what you see? He was like, I saw all the bridges I burned, all the friends I lost, all that stuff. And he was like, and through my life, I realized, through that incident, I realized that all my life I've been trying to prove that I'm a good person or whatever. And he was like, well, do you feel like you're a good person? He was like, only time will tell. So in the interim, what's the man name? Duda had somehow brought up Jake, because he don't really have no family. Jake and Trig is the closest to family as he gonna get, but he want to get real close to Jake because he thinks he looks at Jake as his son. Trig had to let him know, but that ain't your child, that ain't your son, and nothing like that. Like, you don't need to do nothing with him. And Trig wants Jake to not be influenced by Duda at all, because he know that Duda is bad news or whatever. So he looking out for Jake. So he like, well, he not your son, and I think about you being around him a little bit more. So Duda was like, all right. Jimmy Daddy coming there, he big mad, he stomping and stuff like that, child. He throw it on the paper talking about something, we lost the deal, because all he was focused on was getting the Olympics in Chicago. So he mad and like, we lost the deal because you won't shake hands and you won't do this with the other people and stuff like that. You won't play the role that you're supposed to play. And he was like, I ain't doing all that shit, and I don't really care that Olympics ain't coming here. Like, that was all your hopes and dreams and stuff. That ain't my dream or whatever. So Jimmy Daddy was like, Camille would have got behind this or whatever. Camille was Lena Waif or whatever, and she was running up against Duda. My thing is, you wanted to pick Duda because he had the stature and all this other stuff. You ain't want to pick no female or no gay black female or whatever like that. That's on you. Now, don't be coming up here, Camille would have did this, Camille would have did that. You should have put her in the office, but no, you wanted to go with the man. So that's on you, Jim and Daddy. But at any rate, Duda was like, well, Camille ain't here. And so Jim and Daddy was like, well, unfortunately, he was like, man, get the out my office or whatever. So Jim and Daddy was like, you know what, Otis, ain't nobody here to come to see you, Otis. No. He was like, F you, Otis, or whatever. So Trig was like, oh man, come on, Duda. So then he go running after Jim and Daddy, and he was like, look, I need you here. Like, I need you to help him, you know, be the best mayor and stuff like that. And because Trig was like, well, ever since Rose left, Duda been tripping. He was like, look, this man trying to act like he's Superman, trying to save the city and all this other shit. He ain't no Superman. He just a nigga in a suit or whatever like that. He was like, and I don't need to be working with him or some shit like that. He was like, so Trig was like, well, how the community going to trust us if you not behind us or whatever? And we can't have them behind the mayor, or the mayor not representing for them to all be behind us or whatever. He was like, well, you can't. If you want to protect the city from anybody, you need to protect the city from that nigga or whatever. So Trig was like, all right, man, then fuck you then. Go on about your business. So he go back into the office. We see Emmett. We find out that he and Jada apartment or whatever. So it's a big ass sign on the elevator that said, please use stairs. This fool still pushing the elevator button. Like, we can't read now, Emmett. So he finally clicked on him like, oh shit, the elevator ain't working. He go upstairs. We see Jada, she was getting cute, putting her eyebrows on and stuff like that. Emmett like, well, mama, why you ain't telling me the elevator ain't working? She was like, cause fool, you don't live here. Like, why would I tell you that? He was like, look, well, I should have known, mama, I should have known. So then he tells her that, you know, he talked to Shay and Devontae. She was like, oh, how they doing or whatever. He was like, well, you know, they doing good and stuff. She was going out on a date and stuff. And, you know, we had like a real heart to heart. It was real nice. She was like, what? And so he gave her the scarf from Shay or whatever. She was like, oh, okay. And Jada was telling Emmett how she was proud of him and stuff. And, you know, of course, he cheesing. And then he got a call or something. He was like, well, I gotta go to work. So he was like, all right, ma, just hit me up if you need anything. She was like, well, if what's his name, Sway don't answer the phone, I'll call you. He was like, hold up now. I'm number one. Don't forget that. He gave her little kisses and stuff like that. It was cute. Then we see Tree. So he went back into the office. He real concerned about what Duda doing, okay? Because Duda done pissed Rose off. I guess Rose gone for good. He done pissed off Jim and Daddy. Now Jim and Daddy gone. And the community, they ain't got no cops. They ain't got no police or nothing like that. So, like, the community is falling apart pretty much underneath Duda's reign. So, Duda telling Tree, like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Like, everybody always coming for a nigga with a vision. So then Trig was like, well, what's the vision or whatever? He was like, the vision is to have, like, basically a Black Wall Street. Basically. What's basically, child? Basically, where it's the Black people taking care of the Black people. We're not struggling to survive. We're putting money into our own businesses, putting money into our own community and stuff like that. We'll never have to run from the cops, never have to hide from the cops. Like Black utopia, basically. That's what he said. And he was like, and so Trig was like, well, how the hell are we supposed to do that? And you acted like this. Like, we need a mayor who gonna be in that position to work. Like, you need to talk to the other people. Like, you can't just do this by yourself or whatever. Duda like, nah, man, no. And Trig like, well, you can't fix the system if you don't know how to run it, okay? If you don't know what's going on in the system, how the hell you gonna fix something? You don't even know how it's working or whatever. So Duda was like, all right, I see what you're saying. Look, you know, maybe you don't need to be on them corners no more. Maybe I need you in administration. So Trig was like, look, I ain't about to put on no effing suit. So he was like, well, you know, maybe you could put on a shirt with a collar. Maybe we can start there. And then they started talking about Jake. And he was like, well, how Jake doing? He was like, you know, he doing good. He getting ready for this spring. 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. So he was saying like, yeah, he taking Gemma to this spring fling or whatever like that. He was like, Gemma, I thought that was Kevin girl, and he was like, not no more. So then Duda started laughing like, yeah, that's my boy, that's my boy. I said, child. So then he was saying, well, how Gemma daddy feel about Jake dating Gemma. He was like, man, he don't really like it too much or whatever. He was like, yeah, because that light skinned nigga think he better than us or something. Trig was just looking like, was popping over here. So then they had kind of ended with that. We see Darnell, he with Jada and stuff like that. They talking about the old days and stuff. And, he's just spending time with Jada, letting her know that, he was piss poor as a father. And he left her basically by herself raising Emmett alone as a single mother and stuff like that. He was like, you right. And I should have been there for him growing up, but I'm here now and stuff. And she was like, you know what? You right. For a long time, I hated you because you wasn't there or whatever like that. But over the year, you done showed me a new you, and I'm proud of that or whatever. So he was like, I love you, Jada. She was like, I love you too, D. And then he was like, well, you need something else or whatever like that. And then they started talking about Tiff and Emmett, if the marriage is going to work. They was like, look, I don't know. And then they was talking about some other stuff, child. And then he was like, well, you need anything else? She was like, yeah, I need my feet massaged. She was like, come on now. You really milking this cancer thing. It was just cute. It's a long line at Smokey's. Papa struggling to focus, child. He's still thinking about Maisha. The man complaining. He like, is that my food over there? Well, can you hand it to me? I was cracking up. Keisha come in, she all cheesing and stuff like that. Emmett like, what's going on? What got you all smiling and stuff? She was like, nothing, nothing. He was like, you got a new dude. She was like, I mean, this is co-worker and stuff. He was like, yeah, I knew it or whatever. And he was like, well, at least he got a job or whatever. And so Emmett looking up these houses. So I was thinking he was trying to buy a house for him and Tiff and, try to make the marriage work and get a big house, yada, 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 for him and the baby. But we found out later that he looking at houses for Jada or whatever. So he asked her, like, would you come to help me look at these houses and stuff? She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. But she was going to do it tomorrow. We see Gemma. She going over her to-do list, child. Jake not paying her no attention. She questioned him like, Jake, did you hear what I said, Jake? Jake like, huh? What? Then she was like, tell me what I said. Huh? What? Then it was somebody honked the horn. He was like, ooh, Saved by the Bell. So he run out there and Trig throw him the car keys. He was like, yo, you giving me the truck? He was like, no, man, I ain't giving it to you. Slow down. I'm just letting you use this for the spring fling. So Jake, he all excited and stuff. He turned to Gemma, was like, you wanna know what I was thinking or what you said or whatever? She was like, yeah. He was like, I wasn't paying you no attention. Oh, I got the whip. I was perking up. So then we see Kev and Papa, they emptying out the trash from the Smokies and stuff like that. Jake pulls up and Papa and Kevin get in the car. So he pays them, some blunts or whatever like that. And Papa like, look, you got to crack the window because if I come home smelling like weed, my daddy is going to kill me. So then they start talking and Kevin asked Jake like, yo, Trig just gave you the whip. He was like, no, he didn't give it to me. He just let me use it to take Gemma to the spring fling. And then it was just like, oh, snap. I said taking Gemma to the spring fling. I can't even really talk about my girl because that was my boy's girl and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I don't know how Kevin did it because I would not be friends with Jake. I could not. Like, I don't care about no bros before hoes. Like, no. So he was like, it's all right, man, but what you need to do first is you need to clean out this car because it smells like weed and ass cheeks up in here. I said, well, damn. So then when Papa was like, all right, I gotta get back to work. So then Kev was like, well, I'm gonna go with you. And so Jake had stopped Kev from leaving. He was like, yo, is we good? He was like, yeah, and they did that little handshake and stuff like that. He was like, but for real, man, clean out this car. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess Kevin, forgave him for real. We see Gemma and Gemma daddy, they talking. He was telling her like he not happy with her SAT scores. And she was saying like, she don't really care about her SAT scores because she don't know if she want to get in the Ivy League school. And he was like, what that made you say you don't want to get into an Ivy League school or whatever. Like, it's the company you keep. And she was like, here you go. He was like, look, don't be talking to me like I'm one of your little friends, because I'm not. Like, when your mama and me divorced, I said that I was going to take care of you because I got 100% custody of you, and I said I was going to take care of you, so that's what I got to do. She was like, well, yeah, you can take care of me, but not control me or whatever. I was like, how old is this child? Like, whatever. He was like, all right, well, I just want you to be careful about the company you keep. And so she was like, well, I could say the same thing about you. He was like, all right, you right. So she was like, all right, well, I'm going to go. He was like, you don't want none of this dessert? She was like, no, I don't really like that cake no more. He was like, well, what you want to do? You want to eat this cake, anime. You going to sit right here and eat this cake. She was like, all right. So then she ends up eating the cake and stuff, and then she was enjoying it. So I was like, you did all that fussing and fighting for some cake, child. She be doing too much for me. I said, child be getting on my nerves. I swear she gets on my nerves. We see Kevin, he playing video games, and the girl, is her name Lindsay or Lindsay? What's her name? But her gamer name popped up on the screen or whatever like that. So then he perked up and called her up on the phone and was asking her, like, where you been and stuff. And she was like, I've been minding my business and stuff. And so he was like, oh, okay. So she was like, well, where you at? Because I just beat you again. And he was like, I'm just thinking. She was like, what you thinking about? He didn't want to say. But then he finally told her, like, I'm thinking about my boy. He going to the dance with my ex-girl. And to the school I just got kicked out of. She was like, oh yeah, now I see why I'm beating you over here or whatever. And so he was like, well, no, because remember the brother had shot the girlfriend's brother. So he on the run, child. So the girlfriend's still in the house. So she was like, well, I'm going out. Don't wait up and don't be playing them video games all night or whatever. So the girl L, I'm just calling her L, child. She ends up hanging up the phone on Kevin or whatever. So we see Keisha and Emmett. This the next day they look at their houses and stuff, and he was telling he was telling Keisha that the house was for Jada, because she was like, well, you sure this house gonna be big enough for you and your 1,200 kids and stuff like that? He was like, no, but this is how I'm trying to buy a little something for my mom. And so the real estate agent, she came over and he was like, well, can I get a cut on the asking price and stuff? She was like, no, it's going to be real tough. If you trying to get this house, you need to put your bid in early. And the best way to get this house is with a cash deposit or whatever. So he was like, a whole cash payment? She was like, yeah. So then she looks at Keisha and she recognized Keisha. So she was like, oh my God, it's you. And she was like, excuse me? And she was like, you from the papers. I read your story and stuff. So Emmett was like, well, yeah, she don't really like talking about that. And she was like, that's fine. I don't really need her to talk about it. I just want her to know. Or she was like, I just want you to know that you are an inspiration to all survivors out there. And Keisha was like, thank you. She was like, no, thank you. So a little bit piece of me thought like maybe that same situation happened to her and she survived or whatever because of just the way she said it. And so Emma was like, you okay? She was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm good. We saw a little scene with Jake. He was cleaning out the car. We saw Kevin. He invited the L girl over to his house. So she over there, they playing video games and stuff, and she like, I done beat you again. Where is your head at? He was like, look, I'm gonna focus, so let's play again. She was like, look, beating your ass is boring. Like, I don't want to keep beating you like this. So he was like, well, you want to pull up to the spring fling and, get a plate and look at these white kids and teach them how to, catch a beat or whatever. She was like, all right, I guess that sounds fun. So then they end up going to the school. Jada and Darnell's still over there. Jada looking for some food. He was like, what you looking for? She was like, I'm just looking for something to eat. He was like, no, let me cook for you. You too weak for that. I'm gonna make some smothered pork chops or whatever. She was like, I'm supposed to be eating healthy. He was like, look, I put a little applesauce in. I was cranking up because that's healthy. Darnell. So we see Gemma Daddy. So it's Gemma Daddy and Trig, Jake and Gemma. So it's the day of the dance. They all cute, dressed up, and Trig is taking them proud pop-up photos. He like, oh, let me get this picture. Let me get that picture. All right, pose like that. And so Gemma Daddy talking shit the whole time because he don't really like Jake with Gemma. So he's talking shit the whole time, and Trig basically like, look, man, they going out on a date. Like, you just gonna have to get over it. They about to leave. And Duda is at the door. So Duda at the door and they all looking like, oh, wow. you came or whatever. So he was like, yeah, I just came to see y'all off, the couple off or whatever. So he was like, well, let me get a couple pictures of the cute couple. Trig was like, well, I can airdrop them for you because they was fitting to leave. So he was like, all right, all right. But then he had a corsage, so he gave a corsage to Gemma. And, Jake was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, excuse me. So they go outside or whatever. Not Jake, yeah, all of them went outside pretty much. But the guys, Gemma Daddy, Duda, and Trig stayed up on the porch. So Jake walking down to the car with Gemma, and Duda was like, young man, or whatever. So he was about to tell him, open the door from her. Trig was like, no, he got it. So Jake did. He went and opened up the car door for Gemma. Gemma get in. She was like, well, it smells like baby powder in here. He was like, you like it? Yeah, it's cute. So then he goes to, the other side or whatever. And so Gemma Daddy like, you better take care of my daughter or whatever. And Trig was like, yeah, he will or whatever. So you can tell like Trig been teaching Jake some good information or whatever like that. He's teaching him how to be a man, which Jake was missing out on because he ain't had that from nobody. Reggie was teaching him the drug game. And then when Reggie died, he ain't had nobody. Duda really wasn't teaching him. He was just trying to teach him how to be preppy and stuff, not really to be a man or whatever. But Trey really, teaching him the ways and stuff, which is good. And he teaching them how to not be in them streets. We see Keisha, a scene with Keisha, child. I was like, I don't know how Octavia did it, child, but she in the scene with Octavia, and Octavia then gave her all the baby stuff that she basically brought and stuff like that. And she's just talking to her, and Keisha ends up giving her, because you can tell it was hard for Octavia because, she really wanted the baby and stuff. And, she took the baby back or whatever. So she was like, well, I'm going to go. She was like, well, here, I want to give you something. Keisha ended up giving her a picture of Octavia holding the baby. And she was like, I wanted you to have this. And Octavia was like, thank you for that. Thank you for, giving this to me or whatever. And so she wanted to talk to Keisha and ask her how she was doing. And Keisha was saying like she doing good, but she not really getting a lot of sleep and stuff. And she was like, well, you gotta take some time out for you to make you happy and stuff. And Keisha was like, well, I thought the baby would make me happy. She was like, no, you can't. Nobody can make you happy but you. Like, you gotta do that for you or whatever. And she was like, well, what is your goals? Like, what's your dreams and stuff? And she was like, to be a good mother. She was like, before you was a mother, what was your dreams and stuff? And she was like, going to school. She was like, well, do that. Go to school. She was like, I can't put nothing else on my plate. So Octavia was basically, is going to be like her mentor, be her like big sister in a way, because she said she was going to teach her the ways because somebody put her underneath their wing, I should say, and taught her how to be more productive and to live a full life and not just a productive life or whatever like that. So she was really talking to her like that. And I was like, this is so dope. The thing I wish they would have done, instead of Keisha taking back the baby, I wish it would have just been like an open adoption. And I don't really think Octavia would have had an issue with Keisha still coming over to see the baby and, spending time with the baby and stuff like that, if that's what she really wanted. But Octavia being mainly like, the mom and just taking care of her or whatever, but Keisha still coming in, and the baby and the child and the teenager or whatever, once they grow up, knowing like this is my mom, but this is also my mom or whatever. Like my mom really couldn't take care of me in the situation that she was in, but she was still active in my life. And then this is the person that she gave to raise me and stuff like that. I wish they would have did something like that versus Keisha just taking the baby back. Like, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Darnell, he in there whipping it up in the kitchen, child. He called Emmy and tell about something. You need to hurry up and come over here for all these pork chops is gone. Papa then got called into work. He upset because he didn't got called into work, child. But because he's talking about something, I'm still thinking about Maisha. What if we get back together? Some shit he said. Or no, what he say? I was thinking about having a family with Maisha. He was like, well, keep hope alive. I said, Emmy ain't shit. At the dance, they dancing pretty much. Kev and Elle, they came in there, they watching the people dance and stuff like that. And he points out Jake and Gemma. And she was like, oh, yeah, she looked like the type that went with your best friend or whatever like that. He was like, oh, for real? She was like, yeah. So I was like, well, damn. Her and Maisha said the same thing. Then Jake, it dawned on Jake, like, oh, shit, I left my book bag at your pappy house. I got to go get my shit. Like, you want your dad to find my stash or whatever? Because she was like, well, you know, the dance in at 11. If we go, we gonna miss half the dance or whatever. He was like, but you want him to find my stash? She was like, you know what, you right. Let's head on back to the house. So we see Duda and Gemma Daddy. They talking. They sitting down talking or whatever. And not Gemma Daddy. Duda was like, yo, I know you want to end me. He pouring drinks and stuff. He was like, I know you want to end me, but you ain't got shit. So then Gemma Daddy was like, well, you know, I could go get Rose and we could go public about Tracy. So Duda was like, nigga, please. They'll be talking about that for a week and then they'll be over with or whatever like that. And so he was like, well, yo, I know you got gang ties. So not Gemma Daddy. Why I keep saying that? Duda was like, well, prove it. So Gemma Daddy was like, and you think I don't know that you killed an innocent civilian or whatever? And he was like, I ain't kill Brandon, or Brandon wasn't. No, he was like, Brandon wasn't innocent or whatever. So I was like, well, damn, Duda, you just threw yourself underneath the bus. You, he ain't say nobody name, but that is Jesus. You the one who said the name. But anyway, he was like, I know you misused funds for the gang and stuff. He was like, oh no, I ain't misused no funds. Like I needed protection or some shit like that. And so he was like, if they didn't come for Jake, talking about the police, would you have went after them? And he was like, yeah. And so Gemma Daddy was like, yo, I saw the video. All he had to do is show them his ID. So you know, Duda don't talk about his son. So, or his son, I should say. So Duda was like, he ain't had to show them shit, okay? So then what did he say? He was like, something about Jake fucking other people or some shit like that. And so Duda was like, well, it looked like your daughter the one fucking everybody. I said, oh shit, he ain't lying though. So then Gemma Daddy was like, pop, punch Duda. I said, Lord, now sir, you just said Duda Daddy. I mean, not Duda Daddy. Who the hell is Duda Daddy? You just said that Duda was gang affiliated. You just said he killed an innocent man. You just said he misused funds. You just said he beat up the cops. Like, you just said all of these things, but you thought the smartest thing to do was to punch him in the face? Make it make sense, please. So, of course, when Gemma Daddy punched Duda in the face, Duda took his cane and was like, no, first he hit him like, bow. Then he took his cane and was like, whomp, whomp, whomp. Like, he just started whomp, 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 whomp. He just started beating that man. I said, oh, Lord, Gemma Daddy, you spitting to die. So then Trig, mind you, Trig outside on the porch the whole time texting. I said, Trig, you don't hear this commotion? Like, you ain't hear them talking loudly? Like, you ain't hear none of this? He come in there all late talking about, what the hell is all this? Oh, shit. What the fuck you done did, man? What you done did, man? Oh, my God. So then, Duda was sitting there chilling like, while the man is on the ground like he dying and shit. But Duda like, so Trig like, oh my God. What the fuck you doing, man? What you doing? Like, you lucky he's still breathing or whatever. He gets his phone out and about to call the cops. So, Duda was like, who you calling? He was like, man, you can't let this man die. He was like, Trig, yes, you can. I said, oh, shit, Duda is the devil. We see Emmett, Jada, or Darnell, they eating, they tearing it up and stuff. They having a good old time. We see Kevin and the chick, they touring the school and stuff. And then he was telling her why, you know, like he don't like the school because he felt like he got to be an overachiever. And then she was telling him, like, you know, she going through some issues too because her brother gone. And then she lived with the girlfriend. And now they don't really get along or whatever like that. So she don't really know where she going to stay at or whatever. So we see Jake and Gemma in the car. Because remember, they was going back to the house. So, child, they sitting out there arguing about who won't go in the house and stuff. So Jake was like, all right, I'll go in. She was like, all right, here the keys, go in the back door. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is not what Jake need to see. So then Jake go in there, child. Trig still holding Jim and Daddy head, talking about, breathe, man, breathe, just breathe. And Duda still chilling like, the fuck is the problem? I need more ice cubes in my drink. That's how he was chilling. And so Jake come in there looking like, oh shit. So then Trig looked up and was like, oh my God, Jake, this is not what it looked like. This is not what it looked like. Jake just grabbed his bag and bounced and ran back to the car. But you can tell like he shook him. So Jimmo was like, what's wrong with you or whatever? He was like, nothing, man, nothing. She was like, oh, my daddy was asleep, wasn't he? He was like, I don't think so. So then he pulled out. I said, Lord have mercy. We see Emmett, he asking Darnell for a lineup. Jada ends up asking Darnell for a lineup and take her scarf off and show her bald head. He was like, yeah, I got you, Jay, I got you. So he cleaned her up and stuff. It was like a cute moment between Jada and Darnell and Emmett. It was real cute. Jim and Daddy's still on the floor, child, coughing up blood. Trig, like, we can't let him die. Like, we can't let him die. Like, he got a daughter. Like, we can't let him die. And here go Duda, Trig, let the motherfucker die. I said, oh my God, this man is worse than the devil, child. What's worse than the goddamn devil? So I'm like, woo! Duda, that's what's worse than the motherfucking devil. So then Jake, he tripping off. They had some hotel, I guess. I don't know where they was. I think they was in a hotel room, child. I don't know. But, you know, Gemma, she kissing all on him. Jake like, no, I'm good. You know, I just want to cuddle with you, baby. I just want to cuddle. Because he thinking like, look, your daddy finna die. Like, I can't even tell you how he died. Like, I can't even tell you what I saw. Like, what the, you know what I mean? And so then we see Kev and the girl. He done made a pallet on the floor and stuff like that. And he told the girl like she could sleep in his bed or whatever. So then she ends up getting on the floor with him and then gave him a little kiss and thanked him and stuff. I said, oh, that's so cute. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. The season finale is, I was about to say tomorrow. The season finale is Sunday. So we'll see, you know, everybody's story kind of wrap up for the season. I'm just want to see what's going on with Nina and Dre, and I need to see how Trig and Duda gonna get up out of this mess, because child, the scenes from next week's episode look juicy. I said But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down there in them comments. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button along with the share button. All right, y'all, until next time, peace.